Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you an affordable prom makeup tutorial. I really wanted to do this now because the palette is from the ColourPop website and it is affordable. It's just online only, so you would have to order it with time in order to get it on time for prom. Either way, you can always use other colors and just create the same look with another palette or something, but it is an affordable option. So everything else you can find at the drugstore. I made sure that not everything was online only. It's just the eyeshadow palette is really pigmented and I think it's a really good option. The colors really show up and it can give you a full glam look, which I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you really want something like that for prom. So go ahead and keep watching if you want to see this full face glam prom makeup tutorial. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is set my concealer, and I actually used a concealer to prime my eyeshadow. I always do that, and the one that I'm using is the CoverGirl Vitalist Concealer, so I just use that one to set. And then I am going to use this color right here. This one is the Maybelline The Nudes palette, and I'm going to use that color to set my concealer. As far as the brushes that I'm using, I'm going to tell you the ones that are like the affordable ones, so that way if you're looking for one, you know, pretty similar. This one I got it from Ulta. This is the M511 and it is a big fluffy brush, and I like to use this one to blend out, and I also like to use it to set my primer or my concealer. Okay, so the first palette, or the main palette actually, that I'm going to use is Dream Street by ColourPop and Kathleen Lights, and I'm going to use the light brown that's in here. You can use any light brown that you want, but I mean, you don't have to follow it with this palette. Just use whatever light brown that you want. The brush that I'm going to use for that is the Morphe M514. It is a tiny, small little brush. Great for blending out, especially if you have small eyes, especially if you have hooded eyes. It is my favorite brush at the moment. I love this brush. It has been super helpful in my makeup looks. So make sure that you start off on the outer corner of the eye and then work your way in, and then just kind of go back and forth and just blend out. It doesn't matter that the color is not super pigmented yet. We're going to build up the intensity in a bit. So now I'm going to take a little bit more, start off on the outer corner, and then do the exact same thing and go just a little bit higher, going towards the eyebrow. So the next color that I'm going to use is Moony, and it is this dark brown at the bottom. And using the same brush, I'm going to start off on the outer corner of the eye and do the same thing that I did with the first color. And slowly I am going to go towards the eyebrow, just a little bit higher up. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit more and start on the outer corner and work my way in, same way. Make sure you go all the way to your inner corner. Don't be afraid to do that. It will make it look more intense on the inner part. So if you miss that, it's not gonna look as like deep, or it's not gonna look as intense on the crease when we do the cut crease. I'm also going towards the outer part of my eyebrow and then going up. I'm going to take a little bit more and concentrating that right here, right in the center, and then going back and forth. Okay, so now that we have that, I am going to do the cut crease. Now, it does look a little bit more complicated, but it is a cut crease look, and it's not as hard as you think it is. For the cut crease, I am also going to use the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Concealer, and I just apply it on the back of my hand, so that way it's easier for me to grab. And I'm going to take this brush. Make sure that your brush is not like messy. Make sure that it's kind of clean like this one. It doesn't have any hairs sticking out on the sides or anything, because if it does, then your cut crease can come out messy. So a synthetic brush is really good for that, or a plasticky type of brush. It doesn't have to be a super expensive brush, just one that will create a clean line. So I'm gonna start right here and work my way in all the way to the inner corner of the eye. I do have like some wrinkles there on my eyelid, so if I look up, that is a good way to tell like where my concealer can mess up. So if I do that at first, then I'll know where to create the cut crease and it'll be easier for me. I don't do that all the time, but it is a good guideline if you know you're a little bit afraid of doing a cut crease. Even though I do that, I like to bring my cut crease a little bit higher on my eyes. And then just fill in the bottom part. So I'm gonna go back to the palette and I'm gonna use this color right here, which is a very light, like champagne color. This one is called Spark. I didn't set my concealer because I want it to be wet. I'm gonna use this little tiny brush so that way I don't get messy. I'm also gonna spray it with this makeup mist. You can find this makeup mist at Ulta if you're interested in that one. It has a lot of product and I feel like it's not expensive for what it can help you with. So you don't have to spray it. The eyeshadows are pretty pigmented alone, but if you want that extra shimmer, the extra glam, I would recommend wetting the eyeshadow. So now I'm gonna apply this in the inner corner of my eye all the way to the middle. And just be very careful with it so that way you don't get over the concealer. Now taking a slightly bigger brush, I'm going to use this color right here. This one is called Magical. I also sprayed this one just to make it more intense. So I'm just going to apply this right here, going towards the outside of the cut crease and bringing it in just a little bit to blend those two colors together. It's pretty easy to blend out shimmers with each other, like a shimmer and a shimmer. So just go back and forth little by little and it'll start blending in. Taking the same fluffy brush I was using earlier, I'm going to go back to the color Moony. And I'm going to apply that on the outer corner of the eye. You just want to tap it on and then do just little small circular motions. I'm also going to bring that up a little bit and just start blending towards the top. I'm not trying to get messy and put it on the shimmer, but I do want to kind of blend towards the inside. And one more time, I'm going to apply it right out here and just tap it on. I'm going to use a clean blending brush and just blend the outer part of the eye. This one is the Morphe M433. And I got my Morphe brushes inside the Ulta store, so you can actually go in there and buy it. It's not like you have to order it online. So now I'm going to use a tiny little brush and I'm going to take the same color Moony. And I want it to be small because I'm going to go over this crease area so that way I can make it more intense, just like it looks on the other side. So now I'm just going to use the same little brush and just go back and forth right above it to blend that out. And I'm going to take my little blending brush and just go over that. So if you feel like you got too close to the shimmer, like I did on this side, you see how this one looks really clean and cut and this one doesn't? It looks just a little bit messy. I'm going to show you how to clean that up. So just take a little bit more concealer and go over that area with a little bit of concealer. You don't want to use too much. And then very carefully fill in the concealer. Just like that. Preferably with a small brush so that way it doesn't get messy again. So there, now you have a really intense crease and you have a clean line for the cut crease. And using this flat straight brush, I'm going to apply the color Twinkle on the lower lash line first. This brush is by e.l.f. and it is the eyeliner brush. It is $1. And I'm going to use the dark brown shade for the lower lash line too. Don't be scared to build up the color under here. It really makes the eyeshadows just look more vibrant. And it is for prom, so I mean, it's something different than what you wear every single day. It's actually a glam look. So for the waterline, I'm going to use the NYX Wonder Pencil in the color Medium. And then for eyeliner, I'm going to use the Matte Liquid Eyeliner by NYX. This is my favorite eyeliner. It's super black and it is really matte. And so all I'm going to do is line the top part. I'm not going to wing it out. So that way it can be easier. You don't need to know how to do a wing. For the inner highlight, I'm going to use Mermaid Boy. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this one, just a little bit with a small little brush. And I'm going to apply it right here on the brow bone area. And I did wet it. And just blend it out like that with your finger. And now taking my fluffy brush, I'm going to go over that. The eyelashes that I'm going to use are the Ardell double up eyelashes, and I wanted to get some double up ones because I feel like it's more of a glam look, especially if it's for prom. And if that's the look that you're going for, then I think the double ones will make it look just like even bigger and a lot more glamorous for prom. And then the glue that I'm going to use is the duo glue in the dark color, which is the black one. I have a white one and a black one, but this one is the black one. And then for mascara, I'm going to use the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot. Then to moisturize, I'm going to use the Derma E Vitamin C Serum. It's really liquidy, but I really like it because I have dry skin and it really helps a lot. Okay, so since I want my makeup look to be extra glowy for prom, I'm going to use the CoverGirl, I'm not going to prom by the way, I'm going to use the CoverGirl Vitalist Go Glow, and this is just a shimmer. It is a shimmer that you can use before applying your foundation. So there, and it really does, I feel like it does make my skin look a little bit glowy, so I do like it. And then for foundation, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, and I have it in the color 204 Natural Buff. You also want to make sure to get it on your neck and on your chest, especially if you're going to be wearing an open dress. You don't want your foundation and neck to look different, or your chest and your neck to look different. So just make sure you get everything, just in case. So the next product is going to be the concealer part, and I'm going to use the CoverGirl Vitalist Concealer, and this is just one of the twistable type of concealers, and I'm going to apply this on the highlighting areas. You want to be careful to get to not get too close to the eyeshadow that you did. This is a good concealer because I mean it has that little brush, so it makes it easier, but you can use any concealer. If you want the brightening, just use one that's a little lighter than your foundation. Okay, so to set my under eyes, I'm going to use the Airspun. This is a thick, really full coverage powder, and you can get it in a lot of drugstores. And I'm going to go ahead and just take some with my damp sponge and apply a lot of it because I'm going to do baking. I want to make sure that my concealer stays all day and all night and stuff, and for pictures and everything. Especially for prom, if you're going to be taking pictures outside and then you want it to last all night too. So if you want your concealer to look pretty flawless and just last a lot longer, do the baking method and it'll help a lot. So I applied that everywhere that I put the highlighting concealer on, and I'm gonna let that sit there for a little while. So now I'm gonna set the rest of my foundation. I don't want to leave it just like that, and I'm gonna be using the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Powder, and this one is in the color Classic Ivory. So to contour my face, I am gonna use the Wet n Wild Mega Glow contouring palette, and I'm gonna use the contouring shade in here. And I'm just taking my Real Techniques brush for that, and then applying it on the contouring areas. For blush, I'm going to use this one by Makeup Revolution, and this one's in the color Nude. I'm just going to take it with my big, fluffy Real Techniques brush. For the highlight, I'm going to use the Healthy Glow highlighter in the number 3. This one is by CoverGirl, and it is a cream highlight. And I'm just going to apply that with my finger right up here. On the bridge of my nose. Let me take off the powder from here. That was a brush that flew. Okay, so I'm gonna take off the powder from up here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just take it off from my forehead too. And I'm gonna apply the highlight right on top of my nose. So then I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter little palette here. And I'm gonna take this one. I was gonna say both of those. I'm gonna take just the very light one, and I'm gonna spray it. I'm gonna spray it because this highlighter is a little powdery, so whenever you spray it, it just looks a lot better. By the way, this is the Morphe M510, and I think it's an eyeshadow brush, but I love it for highlight because it's just like the perfect size for that. And then for the lips, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do nude. You can do any color because I mean you have neutral tone eyes, so any color will probably do. I'm gonna go ahead and use just a nude one, and this will match with any dress. And this one is by CoverGirl, and it is one of the major shades. This one is in the color Cakewalk. Okay, and I need to remove the powder that I have underneath my eyes because I didn't do that. So then lastly, I am going to set my makeup because I want to make sure that it lasts for a long time. So I'm gonna use this one from the drugstore. This one's the CoverGirl Look Lockup.